afternoon. A host of high-class rugby entertainment for you this afternoon. Some fascinating encounters. Here at the Athletic Ground, Richmond, we've the John Player Cup semi-final between London Scottish and Leicester. We've highlights, too, of both Cup semi-finals in the Schweppes Welsh Cup semi-final games between Pontypool and Bridgend, Swansea and Newbridge. But first of all, we travel to Murrayfield on a very special occasion, the meeting of Scotland and the Barbarians. You may recall they met once before in 1970 on the occasion of Scotland's centenary. It was certainly spectacular rugby then. I recall it 7 tries for the Barbarians against 1 of Scotland in the days of... Before the match, the celebrations began with the official opening of the new £3 million stand at Murrayfield by Her Royal Highness Princess Anne.
In declaring the new East Stand open, may I just wish that it'll witness many a fine match here, hopefully starting today.
Her Royal Highness cuts the ribbon and the new East Stand, and there it is formally opened. 7 of the 8 Scots who are going with the Lions are there. A sprightly back division which seems geared for fluent action. The Henge, John Rutherford and Roy Laidlaw have 22 caps each. 4 of the forwards are going with the Lions, including Ian Paxson, out of position at lock for the second time. 13 of this team have played for the Barbarians, and Jim Aitken, who led Scotland at Twickenham, is captain again. The Barbarians side is actually drawn from 5 countries, 4 Welshmen, 4 English, 3 South Africans, 3 French and an Irishman. 2 Springbok centres are on duty, Donny Herber and Errol Tobias. The tradition of 2 uncapped players there with Lafond and Rendell. The old firm from Cardiff, Gareth Davis and Terry Holmes, provide the link. Powerful pack, the great French bulwark Robert Paparambor, and the massive Springbok lock Henny Becker, all 18 stones of him. They've got 2 thunderbolt flankers as well, the youth and the veteran, Peter Winterbottom and Fergus Slattery. And Slattery, the Babas captain for the day. And the man in charge is a college professor from the hotbed of French rugby, the Southwest, 41-year-old René Ourquet. Barbarians may have won the toss. Scotland going to kick off, and they've got any one of 3 possible kickers there, but John Rutherford is the sentinel with the arm up. Then Ourquet blows his whistle, and Rutherford gets the game going, and immediately Noster goes in, and Slattery gets it for the Babas. Holmes, nicely kicked through by Gareth Davis, but just a metre too far. And that's Gareth Davis, who has played 18 times for Wales, and this kind of game should suit him because he's a great runner when he takes it into his mind. There's the 6'7" of Henny Becker. Holmes once again inside to Dantron. Nicely back again, Holmes, Gareth Davis, Tobias. The switch was meant for Carlton coming inside. That's why Errol Tobias turned inside. And there Errol Tobias, who's played in 2 major internationals for the Springboks and made history doing so. Dom Smith got a bit of a knock there, but seems to be all right. That's halfway. Great striking by Deans, out to Rutherford from Laidlaw. Rutherford champing through, chased by Gareth Davis, looks for his forwards, laid it back beautifully. Now it's Laidlaw again, Rennick is with him. Laidlaw, beautiful dummy to Herber, inside to Rennick. Rennick almost up to the 22. It was a marvellous tackle by Becker, the big South African. Now it's out to John Rutherford again, running past Gareth Davis, gives it to Keith Robertson. Roger Baird has it inside the Barbarians 22, and Terry Holmes is the man who clears. Well, as we look at young Lafond there's a great well of sympathy round this crowd as Keith Robertson, who clearly has damaged the shoulder, is going off, and that's really the most wretched luck for the Melrose captain. Fergus Slattery, the Barbarians captain for the day, with that sympathetic tap. And let's hope that isn't a serious injury, but certainly Keith Robertson in pain there. David Johnson of Watsonians is the replacement for that position, and of course they don't have to worry about David Johnson because he's got 16 caps. But of course they have to wait until the doctor, Mr. Donald MacLeod, the surgeon in fact, decides that Keith Robertson cannot continue. Meanwhile, Scotland with 14 from Laidlaw to Roger Baird. Baird playing in the centre with Jim Calder on the left wing, another Gary Owen. Lafond held there by Paxton inside the Barbarians 22. And it's all Scotland at the moment. Their teamwork telling. Clive Rees leaves it. Got it second time. Little bit of misunderstanding between Herber and Clive Rees. Dantrong won it back to Holmes, and now it's Herber once more. Herber with that big kick to Peter Dodds. Peter Dodds on halfway. Feeds out to Jim Rennick. Rennick out to Dodds again. Jim Pollock. But the little tap from Peter Dodds, which in fact was the right thing to do, went forward. Now David Johnson is down on the touchline, and here he comes on. David Johnson on as replacement, the Watsonian set pillar of the French scrimmage. He's retiring after this. Peter Winterbottom, the English flanker. Gareth Davis slices. Peter Dodds catches. Oh, it's almost all the way through. Great stuff. Drive on by John Beattie. Now it's a good ball here to John Rutherford. Rennick once again. Rennick checks and goes past Gareth Davis. Brilliant running by the Hoyk centre. Almost up to the 22. Laidlaw once more. And this is thrill-a-minute stuff. Now it's Laidlaw again. Rutherford. Meant for Roger Baird. Baird against Tarleton. Up goes Baird. David Johnson's there, and he played for Heart of Midlothian. Brilliant footwork. Lafond. Well, you can tell how the crowd are enjoying this, and simply love that bit of tricky footwork by David Johnston. So Scotland meant to pressurise the Barbarians because they were a mixed team, and they're certainly doing it. Laidlaw to Rutherford. Johnston checks past Tobias. Peter Dodds going out there. A marvellous interception by Clive Rees. An acrobatic interception. Terry Holmes bursting away. But the referee seemed to have given a penalty to the Barbars, but now has given the penalty to Scotland.
Surgeon, please go to the medical room in the tunnel immediately, please.
And I think Jim Aitken probably has asked Peter Dodds to kick this goal, not so much for the 3 points, but probably because they're all flannelled. They've had to run about so much that they'll be glad of this breather. In any case, Peter Dodds, who's had a superb season, got his 4 caps, has scored 33 points for Scotland in those 4 internationals, and is the leading point scorer in Divisions 1. Scored 33 points for Scotland in those 4 internationals, and is the leading point scorer in Divisions 1 and 2 of the National Leagues. 141 points in the 13 games. Can he put Scotland into the lead? Points to 0, 18 minutes gone. Scottish 10 metres line. Deans with the throw. Winterbottom gathers in. He's a strong boy, this. Hands on to Robert Norster. Norster clattering into Scotland's 22. He caught the Scots by surprise there. A marvellous pick-up by Terry Holmes. Now it's Dantrong. And the Barbarians beginning to settle and get the feel of it. Holmes once again out to Davies. Davies almost through to the corner flag, tackled by Deans. But that is the corner flag. And that'll have worried the Scots, who've been penalised. Now they've got some big fellas. Is it Becker who's going to take it? Yes, Becker, the 18-stoner, he's made it. The try is given, and 3 Scots couldn't hold him. And the giant South African lock has put the Barbarians into the lead by 4 points to 3, 21 minutes gone. When you've got a fellow of 18 stones, this kind of tap penalty can be lethal. Becker still was well covered, but he is a giant, and notice how he dipped the shoulder and drove. That was technically good stuff. Also used the other arm to push them away. John Rutherford. Becker knocks it through, goes Leslie. Leslie to Paxton. Paxton to Jim Calder. Another tremendous tackle by Terry Holmes, and the clearance by Gareth Davies. Dodds. Dodds caught by Tobias, but throws him off. Good tackle by Paul Rendell, the Wasps. Prop forward, fed out from Paparombor. Lafong thrown down by Rutherford, but he's got up again. And this is the young French fullback running past Roy Laidlaw over the 10 metres line. A brilliant run. He's trying to outpace Pollock. That is a marvellous drive. Well, if ever a fellow brought the house down, surely it's Jean-Baptiste Lafong. 8 points to 3, the Barbers, 23 minutes. It really was the tackle by Terry Holmes initially that did it. But watch this young lad, what an ovation he gets. Look how he cut inside Roy Laidlaw. Beautiful control and balance. Peter Winterbottom racing to get with him. And it was at this point that the young fellow decided to take on Jim Pollock. Pollock got him, but his momentum took him there. A marvellous try. Scotland given the put in. Laidlaw, Rutherford, Johnston, Dodds was in the line. Tobias feeds it out, taken by Gareth Davies. He's over halfway, gives it out to Clive Rees. Clive Rees, who made that great run against Scotland here during the championship. On to Terry Holmes from Winterbottom. Holmes going for the corner. Will anybody stop him? Jim Aiton was back there, and Ian Paxton as well. But this class Barbarian side are certainly showing what they can do, and Scotland now know they're really going to have to pull out all the stops to hold this really scratch side. Bit of shoving in the line out, penalty to Scotland. Incidentally, that was a marvellous bit of running by Jim Aitken, the Scottish captain, because he was in on that tackle on Terry Holmes at the corner. John Rutherford hasn't found touch. Lafong, guess what he'll do? He's doing it. Herbert, Tobias, good tackle by Roger Baird. Again Lafong, brilliantly out to John Carlton. He's caught by Rennick and by Baird. In goes Winterbottom. John Scott picks up Lafong. Now it's Davies. Oh, beautiful pass to Herbert. Herbert's a powerful man, over halfway. In comes Clive Rees on the dummy run. It's still Herbert, the South African. Feeds on there to Gareth Davies. This is marvellous rugby football. Clive Rees now feeding on. Out to Terry Holmes once more. And Scotland really are having to pull out the stops in every department. The Barbarians have taken a grip of the match and don't intend to loosen it. Dantron. Calder took it first, now it's Beattie. A pick-up by Tom Smith. Laidlaw clears. And I think Roy Laidlaw did the right thing there. I think he needs just a touch kick or two just to settle down the Scots and let them get the pattern back again. Well, the Barbarians were here, of course, in 1970, helping the Commonwealth Games Fund, and they won convincingly then 33-17. That, however, was Paxton. Down there goes Tom Smith. So that's halfway. And this 5 countries combined still in front, 8-3. Lovely reverse pass. Now it's Rennie, go and dodge in the line. That was beautifully timed. Now Roger Beard has run brilliantly to get with him. Jim Calder out there to Rutherford. A marvellous try for Scotland. That was brilliant. No wonder the flags are flying here at Murrayfield, because that was a great try by any standards. It was this superb pass from Jim Rennick. Now watch this when he missed out David Johnson. And Peter Dodds, of course, who is really quick. Now he looked inside him, cut back inside, and as always, Jim Calder was there. He made ground, and look how he improvised that pass to John Rutherford. Great stuff. The referee's whistle goes for half-time, and that really has been a first-class half with plenty of exciting action. Barbarians 2 tries to 1 and in the lead by 8 points to 7. But the game has been as close as that, and clearly with conditions holding up, we're going to have some tremendously exciting stuff in the second half. And I think everybody, spectators included, have been glad of the respite. But here we go as Gareth Davies gets the second half in action. Now there's Philippe Dantrong, the Tarbes hooker, just going to throw in, who would have held the French record for hooker caps had he not missed the Scotland-Ireland games of this season. And that because of injury. Now the Barbarians have been turning the Scottish scrummage. You notice, yes, there's the drive going into the left. See how they tried to swing it round. The 2 lock forwards helping there. And real trouble for Roy Laidlaw as the ball spun out badly. Rutherford in trouble as well. But Scotland have smuggled it nicely, and Tom Smith drives away. The underhand feed to David Johnson. That was nice as well. Little kick through meant for Baird. Johnston kicks on over the 22. Lafond, he's got a fast man after him. And a great bit of running by the French fullback. Oh, the Babas will be pleased they picked him. Good tackle by Laidlaw. Fed on to Norster. Norster to Becker. Becker, the 18, the 2 locks in concert there. On to Winterbottom. That long pass out to Herber went behind him. On the Scottish 22. Gareth Davies. Caught by Deans. Holmes goes over, but the ball had gone forward. And listen to the ovation. And all that started by that innocent-looking young Frenchman, Lafond. He's going to play for France in major internationals one day, surely. Rutherford from Laidlaw. The ham and eggs of border and Scottish rugby at the moment. And how fortunate the Lions are that they have that kind of partnership to take with them to New Zealand. Dantrong throws. John Scott managed to get in front of Beattie, and Holmes feeds Davies. That's the switch again to Herber. Notice how the Babas are using this heavily built centre to take people on and to tie them in. Jim Aitken trying hard there to stop the release, but it goes from Holmes to Tobias. Tobias almost through, taken on by Carlton. Carlton charging for the line. That's another great try for the Babas. And that stretches them out to 12 points to 7 with just 5 minutes of the second half over. It really was the surge by Tobias that started it. Notice how he looked for the space and then he went. He made just enough room, and that was a beautiful lob pass which Carlton, the right winger, playing as left centre mind you, came in, and Laidlaw's tackle was just too late. So John Carlton adds another try to his growing list, and Gareth Davies pulls it round and it just squeezes in. So the Barbarians have set Scotland a real task now. 14 points to 7. So plenty of flag waving, although the Barbarians still ahead 14-7. Winterbottom takes. Holmes, Davis. Missed out Tobias to Herber. Herber again, this powerful man. Herber looking for support inside. Well tackled by Dodds, gives it on to Gareth Davies. Jim Pollock in on the tackle there. And Gareth Davies looking as sprightly as I've seen him since he was captain of Wales. And another very good bit of defensive work by Jim Pollock, the Anglo-Scot. Beattie holds. Scotland meaning to roll. Now it's Deans. Laidlaw. Roy Laidlaw just easing backwards at the angle to give himself a little bit more room. Remember his great try against England at Twickenham, similar to the one he scored against Ireland in the first international. And this is Dantrong, who would have beaten Alan Paco's record if he'd played in the Scotland-Ireland games this season. Papa on board. Terry Holmes, half caught by Dean. See how strong he is, this lad. Good tackle that time by Norrie Rowan, though, but they're up to the Scottish 22. Now it's Holmes again. Fergus Slattery. Winterbottom. Out to Clive Rees. Back inside to Winterbottom. Roy Laidlaw. He's caught by Slattery. Now it's Holmes once again. And it's Herber who's clean through. Beautifully angled the run by the big South African centre. And that's a try that he really has worked for during this match. And that really does give the Barbarians a lead that Scotland would do well to catch up on. 18 points to 7. And 14 minutes of the second half gone. But even more significant, that's the Barbarians' 4th try to Scotland's 1. Gareth Davies. Not of any bother here, I wouldn't think. The Barbarians' mauling here was really extraordinarily good. And then Holmes with that lateral run. Now notice how Herber cut inside on the angle, and he's just too powerful to catch with one arm. Power on the run. Colin Deans. Oh, Tom Smith really was bumped out there. I tell you, that was obstruction. Big Smithy will not be amused about that. Just before the ball came to him, there he is, the big bearded lad who scored that clinching try against England at Twickenham. 26 times he played for Scotland at basketball. Holmes to Davis. And that's a useful ball as Peter Dodds waits in his own 22. Good call. Dodds taps. Rutherford. Out there to John Beattie. Boom. Laidlaw the switch to David Johnson. Rutherford, Rennick. Lafond. Where'll I go? There looks a little space, he says. Oh, beautiful running. Always had the forward blanket there with him. Now it's Holmes again to Davis. Davis a forward pass to Errol Tobias. I think the referee's missed it. Rennick goes for Tobias and catches him. Well, that would have been unfortunate for Scotland had Errol Tobias scored there, because the pass was from Gareth Davis was fully 1.5 meters forward. But Errol Tobias here, the first coloured player to wear the Springbok jersey in rugby union. Looks very nippy and well worth that honour. Barbarians have managed to twirl Scotland frequently there, but that was the pickup by Ian Paxton. And offside, the moving lighthouse, Henny Becker. I'd hate to have him following me, I tell you. Rutherford clears, and we are well into the last quarter as Lafond once again feeds out, this time to Clive Rees. Clive Rees caught by Rennick. Good smother tackle. That stopped him getting the ball away, and it turned him as well. Be calm, my children, says René Urquet. Not that he's had to keep them very calm today, but there's a nice touch about this French referee. Ten metres outside Scotland's 22. There's the drive and the turn again, and it really has mucked up some of Scotland's scrummage ball. Not this time. Rutherford, Rennick, oh, lovely searing acceleration. Jim Calder on his elbow, up to halfway. Scots have won it beautifully to Laidlaw. Laidlaw on the burst, inside there to John Beattie. John Beattie over the 22, out to Laidlaw. This must be a score for Scotland. John Rutherford getting his second try of the match. That was magic, magic all the way. The flags are raised once again as Scotland come back into the fight. Still 9 points adrift, but 15 minutes to go. Laidlaw got it started with this beautiful drive, his acceleration there. Now Beattie surged on. It looked as if he may have taken the tackle too badly, but he went through Lafond, and then that lovely improvised basketball pass. Laidlaw did just enough to tie in number 13 Herbert, although Herbert did well, but beaten on the inside. A super try. Dodds, it's there. Scotland live again. So we've just 2 minutes of actual playing time to go, and the Barbarians still 20 points to 13 in the lead as Gareth Davis gives it out to Lafond. Lafond, the fullback, the Frenchman with that burst again, and the interception by John Rutherford for the touchdown. Carried over, a scrum 5 to the Barbarians, and the 21-year-old almost got to the line once more. The crowd rising to this young Frenchman, one of the two uncapped in the side. Laidlaw, was the ball out of the scrummage? The referee says it wasn't, and so Roy Laidlaw has been penalised. Now Becker once more. You remember he scored the first try like this. Fergus Slattery caught by Jim Aitken. The two captains of the day. Terry Holmes, he was held just short. And it's a penalty to the Babas for offside. Now will they launch the South African lighthouse again? Well, he was ready. He likes doing it, you can tell that. Holmes. The big man got it again. He wanted to go wider that time. Norster fed it back. Slattery caught there by Tom Smith. Fed back though, again to Holmes, to Davis, to Tobias. An overlap here to Herbert. Herbert bursting through for his second try. And the South Africans really have written their name over this match. Herbert's second try, and that surely ties it up for the Babas. Holmes with the pass. The forwards, of course, had done the initial work, as they've done so much in this second half. Tobias gave it to Herbert, and there was a two-man overlap here because Lafond and Clive Rees were both there, but David Johnson knew that that inside swerve had him beaten, and the try was on. Back to Gareth Davis, and he slots his third conversion of the match. And the Barbarians are virtually home and dry at 26 points to 13, and we're a minute into injury time. And some solemn Scots faces there. Referee's whistle goes for the end of the match. Barbarian arms raised triumphant. And the crowd are standing to give an ovation to both those teams for what has been a wonderfully spectacular game. The usual scenes here at Murrayfield with the hundreds of youngsters, the bane of the head groundsman Jim Thane here. But great feelings of satisfaction and general happiness, especially on this great Royal